Hi, I'm Emma Nowicki, one of the intern clinicians at the American University Counseling Center.
And I'm Katherine Coogan, another one of the intern clinicians.
We're here to talk to you about tools you can use to cope with anxiety. We're all experiencing increased anxiety related to the COVID-19 pandemic. It's normal to feel anxious in response to a global health threat. A lot of people are feeling anxious about the health of people we care about and the broader impacts of the pandemic. During this time of heightened stress, it's helpful to develop an anxiety toolkit with a variety of tools you can rely on when you feel anxious.
First, let's talk about what anxiety is. Anxiety is defined as a mental and physical reaction to something that is perceived as threatening. In small amounts, anxiety can be useful because it helps protect us from danger by focusing our attention on problems. However, if anxiety becomes too severe or occurs too frequently, it can interfere with our everyday life. Anxiety can show up in a lot of different ways. Some symptoms of anxiety might be worried thoughts that are difficult to control or distract yourself from, feeling nervous, restless, or tense, or experiencing a racing heart, feeling sweaty or shaky, or having trouble breathing.
There are many ways that you can cope with the mental and physical reactions related to anxiety. One tool to manage anxiety is to challenge the thoughts you're having that contribute to the anxiety. Irrational thoughts can magnify your anxiety. These thoughts may feel real, but they often lack evidence. One way to reduce anxiety is to challenge the thought. You can ask yourself questions such as, is this a fact or is this my opinion? Am I overestimating the danger? Am I underestimating my ability to cope? Is there another way of looking at this? By asking yourself these types of questions and examining the evidence, you can reduce your anxiety. Again, these are techniques to use, and sometimes it will be difficult when you're in a stressful situation, such as the COVID-19 pandemic. As a reminder, given the current pandemic, it won't always feel easy to challenge these thoughts, and that's okay too.
Another tool to cope with anxiety is to keep your mind off of the topics that are making you anxious through distraction. This can involve listening to music, listening to a podcast, reading a book, or watching TV. Distraction techniques help to focus your mind on something else rather than the threat that is worrying you. Anxiety related to COVID-19 can feel overwhelming at times. It is helpful to keep your mind on other things to help the anxiety become more manageable. This might be difficult to do, and that is okay too.
Additionally, another tool you can use to cope with anxiety is a relaxation technique. This can include exercises such as deep breathing, grounding, meditation, mindfulness, or progressive muscle relaxation. These techniques are extremely helpful because you can do them anywhere. I would recommend that you practice them first when you're calm. This way, you can find techniques that you like to use and you know how to do them before trying to use them to relax when you're feeling anxious. The more you practice these skills, the easier and the more effective they will become.
Physical activity can be another helpful tool to manage anxiety. Oftentimes, when people experience anxiety, they can feel restless or have excessive energy. Going for a walk, doing push-ups, or practicing yoga can be helpful ways to cope with anxiety. Given we are staying inside more than usual during the social isolation, it is important to intentionally still engage in physical activities. While it can be hard to find the motivation to start these activities, we tend to feel better after being active. Physical activity is one way you can be kind to yourself during this difficult time.
One last tool in the anxiety toolkit is acceptance. Acceptance involves understanding that anxiety will occur in situations that are stressful, and that this is a normal and appropriate reaction. Anxiety is not bad. It can be useful and protective. Everyone feels anxious, and it's okay to have anxiety. One way to practice acceptance is by noticing and taking a non-judgmental stance to your reaction. Take a minute right now to check in with yourself. How are you feeling? Can you allow yourself to notice your emotion and accept it, rather than push it away or judge it? You can accept that you feel anxious and choose to act anyways. You don't have to let the anxiety get in the way of doing what you want to do.
We've reviewed a number of different tools to help you manage anxiety. We also want to talk to you about the importance of practicing ongoing self-care during this time. By engaging in ongoing self-care, you will have a strong foundation to help you manage when anxiety arises. During this time, self-care involves keeping a regular schedule, getting up at an appropriate time, eating 3 meals a day, taking time away from screens, and keeping a regular sleep schedule. Hopefully, this video helped you understand your anxiety more and gave you some ideas for tools you can use to cope with anxiety. Check out the American University Counseling Center website for more information about ways to cope during the COVID-19 pandemic and for more information about the services we are offering students. Remember, this is a difficult time for everyone.